They've been named for their characteristic pattern of dark stripes. They can reach an astonishing length of over 5 meters. Their size alone commands respect. Since tiger sharks can be really curious, they are not shy around humans. Some of the biggest sharks in the world now gather in the immediate vicinity of the free diver. The hammerhead returns. Some scientists think the head shape provides aerodynamic advantages. It could provide greater stability during lightning-fast maneuvers in the water. Hammerheads have also been observed using their heads to pin rays to the ground before eating them. The extreme width of their heads could make it easier to receive the electromagnetic signals of their prey. Or perhaps the hammerheads are able to build up three-dimensional impressions of their surroundings through their sense of smell. But all of these theories have yet to be confirmed. It's time for Fred to recover from the strenuous dives at greater depths. But sharks not only live in the deep. White-tip sharks are only rarely found in the vicinity of the coastline. They are easily identified because of their high, strongly rounded dorsal fins. These sharks are usually solitary and belong to the few species that can be very dangerous for humans. But adults only rarely come across people, since only the juveniles stay within easy reach of the coastline. Pilot fish are often found accompanying these sharks. Fakarava is the second biggest atoll of French Polynesia. Fakarava is a UNESCO Biosphere Reserve. It hosts a particularly rich and impressive collection of plants and animals. It's designed to protect species diversity as well as offering local people a way of living successfully in harmony with nature. That also provides a secure resource base for the future of the islanders. In many ways, these flat islands are anything but ideal for human occupation. Due to the rising of the sea level because of global warming, many inhabitants are afraid for their livelihood. The archipelagos are the remains of former volcanoes. These have long since sunk, and only the coral ring around them has remained. These rifts were the basis for new islands. Black-tip reef sharks are often seen around the coral reefs of the South Pacific. It shouldn't worry divers that they are often found in large numbers. Like many types of sharks, they're quite curious and often approach humans underwater. Their beautifully patterned dorsal fin often protrudes from the water surface. So-called shark suckers use the sharks as a means for transport. Many people count diving on the South Sea's coral reefs as one of the highlights of their lives. Coral reefs are often called the rainforests of the sea. They are part of the most diverse and species-rich habitats on Earth. A reef is essentially a metropolis of the sea. Many fish seek safety in numbers as shoals. Others hide amongst the corals. The sun is important to the reef. Coral polyps live in symbiosis with the tiny algae, which use photosynthesis to turn sunlight into sugar. That's why coral reefs depend on the sun and grow up towards it. They tend to thrive only in light-filled shadows. The reefs form the basis of highly complex ecosystems. The reef itself consists of relatively few different corals. There are around 5,000 types of coral in the world compared to 20,000 different types of fish that call the coral reef their home. Despite the serene impression, this is no paradise. Predators roam the reefs, and stiff competition for space and food makes life incredibly tough. Some species are positively rebuilding the reef during their search for food. This yellow margin triggerfish is looking for prey amongst the coral rubble. This wrasse also leaves a trail of destruction behind on its quest for a tasty morsel. A humphead wrasse cruises above the reef. It can grow to a length of more than 2 meters and weigh about 200 kilograms. It creates even more of a stir when it searches for food among the corals. This parrotfish is one of the most stunning reef fish here. Using its tough beak-like mouth, it works in the corals to get to the algae inside. It swallows big gulps of this algae and coral mixture so that its feces tend to be composed almost entirely of coral sand. The result is that parrotfish are almost exclusively responsible for the sand found on the reefs. For a quiet, free diver, there is a lot to hear. The underwater world is not a quiet world at all, and fish are by no means silent. This blowfish has his mouth cleaned. Hygiene is a big thing here at the reef. Fred also finds a rare hawksbill turtle nearby. They're usually very shy, but this one doesn't seem to feel threatened by Fred's presence. It is busily looking for food, mainly sponges that live amongst the corals. This trumpetfish is using a grouper as cover to hunt in an area where he could hide only with difficulty. Coral reefs worldwide are especially threatened by the rising temperature of the oceans caused by global warming. This causes the so-called coral bleaching when corals die. If the reefs die, the diversity of species will decrease and complete ecosystems will collapse. Here in Fakarava, we can still admire an intact, complex ecosystem. This trumpetfish is cleverly disguising itself as part of the stingray. Other rays prefer the deep, manta rays. They grow 5 to 9 meters in length. Thus, they are the biggest of their species. They are harmless giants. The majestic manta rays have found a swarm of small larvae which they scoop from the waters. There is an abundance of motifs for a marine photographer. Then the divers receive other visitors, mammals, just like themselves. Curious and playful in the weightlessness of the ocean, they come to investigate the divers. Dolphins are essentially perfectly adapted free divers. They can hold their breath for up to 15 minutes and reach incredible depths of up to 300 meters.